show is for adults, by adults, using adult language, role playing adult situations, and possible controversial topics. No situations or topic reflects the views of the dungeon master or the players in real life. You have been warned. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Hey, Zarius.
Hello. Who's that?
I'm that terribly creepy villain you've been working on. I had
Oh,
some thoughts about some terribly overpowered abilities that I could use against your players as they fight wave after wave of my seemingly endless minion horde.
that sounds really fun, but I don't know where my notebook is right now for my dungeon
You
notes.
fool! You should be using World Anvil.
World Anvil? What's World Anvil?
World Anvil has everything you need to start creating and building
Really?
your world. You can upload maps, make character or villain profiles, timelines, update world lore, and much, much more.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna have to definitely sign up for. Why are you laughing like that?
Welcome everybody. Welcome back. It's a little crazy here, but hey, we had a good laugh before everything started. But hey, welcome. Vow of the Keepers, episode 22.
Now you know how Matt Mercer feels, Kim.
Yes. And of course, without further ado, I will pass it.
I feel like that's not the kind of shit that they say to him.
No, but it elicited a response though.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And without further ado, I will pass it over to the Mistress of Ceremonies, our lovely GM Kim.
Yes. Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 22, a pivot episode for us. I guess would be the nice way to put it. As always, we kick off every episode by reminding you that we are proudly sponsored by World Anvil, which has everything that you need to start creating and building your world. You can sign up for free and get started right away at worldanvil.com. You can also join their Discord at the links that we put over in chat. I think it's that way when I don't have my camera mirrored. They're getting ready to do summer camp 2020 at the beginning. It starts the beginning of July, so if you're gonna get in on World Anvil, now's the time to do it. It's a really fun summer event. Lots of stuff going on, and they do prizes and giveaways and all kinds of stuff. I'm looking forward to doing it. It'd be really cool. And then we also like to extend thanks to Roll20 for their generous support. They provide us with a pro account and some core books, so that way I can show you battle maps on occasion with my shitty cartography skills. We hit some follower goals, plural, singular.
That we did.
So there'll be some giveaways over the course of this evening. Aside from that, we generally don't interact with chat during the session, during the break in between. Happy to, but we'll be doing some giveaways and things along the way here, and that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys win some cool stuff. I think some dice sets and things like that are on the docket for the evening.
Yep.
So where we left off last week, there was a lovely ball. There was some schmoozing, some glad handing, some meeting, some dancing, a lovely dinner. Everything was fantastic. And then it took a little bit of a turn. The ambassador from Marcelheim got up on the stage, music cut. Bella leaned into Zara and was just like, don't make me regret this. And they proceeded to execute Zar for heresy. And
You dropped a really cool last line, by the way. I'm just saying.
You made the most of the moment. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So Bella facilitated this by whipping out her awesome super duper magical hammer and smacking Zar in the chest with it. Unexpectedly for Zar, he found himself in a buttload of pain, but also teleported to the roof of the building that they were in, about 60 feet up from the roof itself, plummeting towards the ground at a high rate of speed, going, oh shit. Awesome. So you thudded into the roof. Kinley was making her way to the roof to try to recover you, having gotten a little bit of wind of what was going on from Bella. She knew at least enough to go up there. And as she hit the roof, she saw three mysterious figures scooping up Czar's concussed, semi-conscious body and running off down the road with him. um, so it was a pretty eventful bit of cliffhang. So we're gonna pick up with in the ballroom where Lucy is now. Sorry, Kinley has gone off to the roof, so she's gone. Lucy is the only party member left standing in this ballroom. Um, you are We're not looped in on the plan. You don't know that Czar is on the roof, or really for certain that that's where Kinley went to. You just kind of know, like, where'd everybody go? Czar just poofed out of the air in front of you when Bella struck him, and you can see that the room is pretty tense around you. There's some confusion, like the guards that are guarding the doors are like, do we arrest her? Is she okay? Is he like there's a little bit of confusion slash they're not really sure what if they just like go back to the party now, or so you can tell that there's a bit of um, hesitance and sort of like, okay, now what do we do? As that sort of put a damper on the rest of the evening. So
Yeah.
what would you like to do? You've just seen Czar disappear, poof, out of the air after getting hit in the chest with this hammer, and Bella's kind of like disappeared it into her bracelet that she was wearing, and you're just standing there on your lonesome, like,
Lucy probably looks extremely confused right now. Like, what just happened? What? Okay, where's Kinley? Oh, Kinley's not there. Okay. She's probably looking around and then looking at Bella for any like clues as to what the hell she's supposed to do. Like, was this planned? Was I not into the thing? What am I supposed to do here? So Bella just gets a very confused look from Lucy.
okay.
But to maybe get some hint.
Mhm.
But if she doesn't get any, she's probably gonna try to excuse herself and go retrieve her belongings.
So there's that awkward pause moment of everyone just kind of like, okay, what do we do? The ambassador is still up on the stage with the mic, and she apologizes for um, having to deal with that in the manner that they did, and hope it didn't ruin everyone's evening. And she kind of like urges the band to kick back up into playing something light to sort of, break the mood a little bit. Bella will walk over to you, hammers away. She kind of like shoes out towards the guards, like a don't kind of thing. And she worried about eavesdroppers. She doesn't give you a full dump of what happened, but just kind of like, this is what Czar was hoping for, sort of implying like it's not as bad as it looks, sort of a deal. But it you may want to retire for the evening. Just the crowd's going to be a little the rest of the night, I imagine. And
Then I suppose my exit would not be looked down upon, as the evening has been slightly dampened, as you said. Yes.
yes, you should meet no resistance. If you do, just send for me. The way this worked out, Czar took the brunt of the blame here. So
I saw. That looked very painful.
yeah,
Okay.
possibly. I didn't hit him as hard as I could have, but I wanted to sell it, so I really kind of put it to him.
I appreciate the fact that you did not try to murder him in a single blow. But now, if you'll excuse me, I have belongings to grab back and I believe some people to find.
Mm, she excuses you and kind of sends you out. So you're gonna head out of the ballroom, work your way back to the front where the
Yep.
like clerk coat check kind of area was, down where the
Yep.
guard and all that stuff, and get the bag of holding that you checked in with all of your gear out the front door. Do you have a destination in mind? Like you don't really have, you don't know that they're up a ring and on the run. You're gonna head for the house. You're gonna head for.
Gotta check really quick if. Nope, I don't have anything. Okay, so not knowing whatever the hell's happening, she's probably gonna start heading back towards the house, hoping to find either tumble upon Kenley or Zar, but she's definitely keeping an eye out for
Mhm.
any commotion nearby as she makes her way out.
Okay. So as you sort of make your way, uh, yeah, you make your way out of the place. Roll a perception check for me.
Perception. Oh. As per usual, the rolls
Yep.
are extra tonight.
Kicking things off in high gear as per always. Um, so on your way out the front door, you do catch a sense that the guards seem a little on edge. They're a little tense. But it's not really clear if that was just because of what just happened in the ballroom or if some. But you just kind of get the vibe of like they're on elevated alert right now, and they don't like try to stop you or accost you or anything like that, but they kind of give you an eye on the way by. They're just kind of like of, aren't you the one who was just with the dude that they hammered back there?
They get an arched eyebrow from Lucy, like, really, dude? With all her dignity, she starts heading back, I suppose.
Okay. So you start making your way out of Unlocked proper back towards the surface level.
Mm.
And while that's going on, there is a little bit of yakety sax action going on upstairs. So, as I said, where we left off was rooftop. Three mysterious figures had Czar just kind of like poof out of the sky in front of them, and they went, "We're having that," and scooped them up and ran off. Kinley got to the roof just in time to see them doing that, giving chase as best she could manage in current attire and a lack of accoutrements. Kinley, you did pick up that the guards are like on the roof here have been knocked out, presumably by these people. Unclear of motives and actions and all that kind of stuff. They've just taken off and you're giving chase. So there's a bit of, like I said, it's basically like a yakety sax action. They're running away, you're running after them. Zara is just kind of like, what? In the midst of all this. And then after a couple rounds worth of time, like, a minute or two, Zar, you start to kind of slap yourself out of it a little bit and realize that you've been scooped up by parties unknown and are currently being sort of like jostled down the road here. So what would you guys like to do in this action? You've got.
I think Kinley's just following. Aegon had to step away for the kid.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So Kinley's trying the best she can to catch up to you. Which is like, excuse me, that large person belongs to me. But they're not showing signs of slowing down. They're just like, we get away, we get away. So,
Oh, oh, um, Ow! Uh, what are you doing?
How big are we talking?
I'm like 10 foot tall.
Yeah, he's large size.
How much weight?
Uh, probably about 400 or 500 pounds.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, it's beefy because it's like a mini. It's sort of like a half of an enlarged spell. So
yeah. I'm a big
Alright.
dude.
Cool.
he's pretty beefy. So you're just
You
like,
You can put me down.
I think that if you want to live, you'll come with us.
What?
There's people chasing us. We leave now.
Did Bella send you?
Uh, Sorry, I was not expecting the who. I do not know a Bella.
Get your fucking hands off of me!
As he yells that, I'm going to wave my hand in front of me and cast Phantom Steed.
okay.
I put myself and Isaac and Vanessa and grab him and throw us all on the back of the steed and run the hell off.
I will be resisting since you are trying to run away with me on a magical horse.
Okay.
So,
Tested at athletics.
For me or him?
So you both roll athletics. Are yours at disadvantage because you're kind of concussed.
the athletics.
And we'll see if you're kind of like wrestle yourself out of this being carried by 3 people action.
I don't have a lucky since we haven't had a rest, so.
Burned all them up. Trying to be smooth at the ball.
What? Like, I guess as he's like putting me on this. What the hell is going? Do you even know where we're going?
I kind of rub my hand on his head. You are safe now, and jump on the back of the horse.
This isn't part of the plan. I was supposed to do that.
Never. He's getting sort of. I lost the word. Noisy.
You told me not to harm no one. Isaac, we go now.
True. Just be quiet, mister. You were hurt pretty badly.
As they're saying that, I am going to healing word myself, and I'm also going to use my second wind.
Okay, to try to get yourself back
Yep.
to something resembling good condition.
Yeah,
So-
because to us, he looks beat up and hurt, and he just appeared out of nowhere right on top of us, basically.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So that's
So-
our standpoint.
Yeah,
It's
like his
13.
there's all kinds of like rib cracking action going on, and he thudded in, and there's some bruising and blood, and like he took a solid whooping getting onto that roof.
So
All
as
part of the plan.
as you're like patting me on my head and saying this, you see my muscle tense up and some of my wounds begin to close. And as a wizard, you would know I'm casting a spell because I'm not exactly hiding it. You see me mutter a few words and sort of like a holy light radiates around
Isaac.
my chest, and my wounds start clearing up more.
Isaac, look. He's one of me.
I don't know where we're going or where you plan on taking me.
Let's just get somewhere safe, and then we can discuss what this plan you say is.
I know the perfect place.
Then let's go.
I give them directions to my blacksmith shop.
Okay, it's not a bad plan. So Kinley, you've been doing the best you can to try to close distance on
Yeah.
them, and see that they've summoned a sort of ethereal horse of some kind
Okay, I'm like
it-
running
it's-
after them, like this large rip down the side of my dress. Like, son of a bitch, I don't have a horse.
You start making up some ground on them as they like stop to mount the horse and things like that. But once they're on it and take off, trying to keep up with a horse at full gallop, you're just like even as way down as it is with having the four of them piled on it, you're just like, crap, fine, you take them. I don't need
just
to deal
yell
with this.
down.
Shit.
I will find you, Czar.
Would I hear Kinley yelling this at me?
Possibly. Go ahead and make a perception check.
All right.
It's middle of the night, so the streets are relatively quiet-ish. So, realistically, you might catch that Kinley is yelling, but not necessarily make out coherent words and sentences. More just like, "Oh, hey, Kinley's up here too."
Yeah. Hearing her voice, and I would be able to assume that she's trying to follow me or catch up to me or something. I will just yell back, not exactly knowing what she says. I'll be where they're made. That's the most nondescript clue I could give her.
Okay, she will kind of get the hint and finally stop running after them and just make her way back to the hall.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know how far. This is like some tunnel underground, right? This way too?
Yeah, but more or less.
Yeah, I have no clue where this goes to, and I want to come out somewhere that I'm a little unprepared for.
Yeah. Fortunately, with the size of everyone involved, like they couldn't duck down any of the real like small thing like that. They're still on relatively thoroughfare.
Yeah.
But it's still just a bit of a mess. Like you don't know where you're running to or net 100%, and what might be waiting on you on the other side and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Okay, so they've taken off. You've given them directions to your blacksmith shop, which should be closed for the night. Your apprentices aren't expected to be there working in the middle of the night, so it should be relatively quiet. It's a business district. Everything should be shut down. Odds are good that you're not going to get halted by anybody along the way of like, excuse me, 4 people on a ethereal horse. Would you like to explain what the hell you're doing? 2 o'clock in the morning. There's at least, solid odds that you're going to be able to make that happen. Okay. Yeah. So, Kinley, you're planning to head back to the party at this point?
I'm gonna head. That's the only way I know. Go back and head out. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you work your way back to. Oh shoot! I didn't. Apparently the player thing didn't jump over. So this, you're supposed to see like them and the running and all that kind of stuff. But apparently I forgot to drag the little player map thing. Sorry. So you make your way back to the sort of reception hall where the ball was being held, to the roof to head down the stairs. You see it's been a little bit of time has passed and all this running back and forth and stuff. Other guards have come to check on the unconscious ones, and you get a bit of like a halt. Who goes there? Who are you? State your business, kind of a thing, because there's a bunch of unconscious guards on the roof and they're a bit on edge now, even more so than they were.
I think the only thing I would probably have tucked away on me is my badge, so I would show them my badge.
Okay. So badge flash would be enough to at least like, oh, so you were here for the. What are you doing on the roof?
Heard some noise up here. Apparently, I got up here too late, so.
All right. Well, it may be unsafe if whoever did this is still lurking about. We suggest you head back down with everyone else.
That was the plan. I just tried to see if I could find anybody, but there was no one down the tunnel. So, whoever they were, I missed them.
So you can make your way back down the stairs. You find yourself back in Gotta switch there, that token. Takes click. So you come down the stairs here back into the ballroom. You can see now that it's started to clear out at this point, as much as they tried to kind of relighten the mood after you after everything went down with Zard.
Yeah.
People weren't really feeling much for dessert and after dinner, like a aperitif. So they've kind of started packing it in. People have just sort of trickled their way out. There's still a few notable faces that you from your meeting and greeting that you had done earlier in the evening that you recognized, but
Is the Incredible
it's
Hawk Elf
mostly
still there?
cleared out. No, Cowland has left at this
Okay.
point. Let's see. So yeah, there's a couple of the Forge Hearth Council members. Ashling, the ambassador from Marcelheim, is still hanging around. So let me kind of do it this way. Kind of see.
I forget, David. Was
Sort
Ashling in on this at all?
On the scheme,
Yeah.
not as far as you know.
Okay. Okay.
From the speech that she gave, it didn't give any sort of indication that she was in on what was going on. She seemed very kind of distraught at what was about to unfold, as you guys had kind of become half decent friends over the time that you spent in town.
All right.
So, but like these four are kind of the ones who are still there. Bella's cleared out. Cowland, most of the rest of them have sort of are either in the process of walking out the front door or already have. It's relatively, servers are clearing tables and cleaning up classware and all that kind of stuff. The band's packing up. They're basically the night's winding down.
All right. I'll kind of I'll straighten myself up, put my put my shoes back on, make my way through the room. Obviously I will ignore the annoying Fantalusia people.
That's fine. I don't really want to talk to you either.
Yeah, of course. That's why I don't want to talk to them. Stuck up mages.
That's how they roll in Fantalusion. Some of what you get when you run a mageocracy.
So is Bella still here, or is she headed out?
Bella's left at this point because
Okay.
she wasn't anticipating you coming back. So she, once
Yeah.
Lucy cleared out, she kind of cleared out shortly behind her.
All right. I will clear out myself unless somebody tries to get my attention. So.
Okay. So on your way out, you do see the ambassador from the Druidic Alliance is still out front. Looks to be drinking pretty heavily at this point and
It's got to be gone by now.
extremely anxious. Basically, what just happened shortly before in the ballroom has them wondering, is my kingdom gonna get, or am I gonna get, or are they gonna get, or are we in, how much trouble are we in? There's a lot of question marks currently that they don't necessarily feel like they have the answer to. But you do see Brush, the Tabaxi ambassador from the Druidic Alliance, kind of standing at that they're at that bar here, just kind of fill it back up. They're throwing them back, trying to figure out doing a lot of this.
All right. Yeah. I will continue on. He's probably long wasted, not even trying to try and have a conversation with him.
Okay. So you work your way out to the front door. If you stop by coat check, Lucy's already picked up the bag.
Okay. Good.
Got you covered. And you work your way out front as well. You're gonna head for the vaguely implied blacksmith shop. You're gonna head back to the house
But
where
Lizzie's not here. I'm probably gonna check the house first and see if she's there.
No, Lucy's got a bit of a head start on you, so you wouldn't see her hanging around at this point. She's already working her way back.
Yeah, so if I don't see her, I'm gonna head back to the house first. Figuring she probably went there first.
Okay. So Lucy's got a head start on you, but she's heading for the house. You're heading for the house as well. So we'll jump to our band of accidental kidnappers who have arrived at the blacksmith shop. Well, kind of move you guys. We'll say that that's right here. At this point, you've had, the ride here to kind of like chit chat a little bit. To some extent, it's a little, it's not a casual jaunt through the city, but you get to the blacksmith shop, you kind of dismount. Zara, at this point, you've kind of cleared your head, shaken out all of the stars and little birdies that were flying around, and we'll take this opportunity to have you guys introduce yourselves. Czar sort of takes stock of his 3 captors. So what does he see, and who is he meeting in this situation? If we'll start with...
We're doing Vanessa, Isaac, and then myself.
Sure.
So we just start in characters.
Yes.
He would see about a 5'7", 5'8" human female, blonde hair, light blue eyes, about like a medium stock body, clad in scale mail at the moment, and pretty much holding a bow and just staring him down.
Next.
Yep, you're next.
Isaac is an armless monk. He I'd say he's about 5'6", 5'7", with one eye red, one eye blue. No particular reason for that. He was just born like that. And his hair is kind of like I guess you would call it dirty blonde. I'm not exactly sure. It's like, we'll just go with that for now. If it needs to be clarified a bit more later, I definitely will do that. I'll find pictures. But he's a very quiet and reserved, but he'll speak up when he feels he needs to speak up.
And standing behind them both is a massive construct made out of what looks to be a solid black metal, with the rivets and the inlay being gold, and the energy inside of it is a deep orange fire.
Okay. Czar stands at about 6'2". He's currently dressed out in like a very extremely fancy tuxedo type dress. His hair is kind of slicked back. It does appear to be like shoulder length, but he keeps it like slicked back. He gives you all a look and sort of just kind of turns, unlocks the door, and invites you all in. But we better get inside, and you should probably make that go away. And he points to the spectral steed.
Ah, yes.
Go ahead and make it go away.
Wave my hand and it disappears.
So I would let them into the shop, close the door, and lead them to the back room where we wouldn't be seen through any windows or anything.
So you make your way back there. It's your shop, you know the layout and stuff like that. So it's real easy to make that happen. You slide yourself in, close the door, give yourself a little bit of privacy, and have the opportunity to try to figure out what the hell just happened.
So Who the hell are you people?
My name's Isaac.
I am Nether.
That would be Vanessa.
What? Why were you? I'm just at a loss. What? Why? Do you just randomly pick up people that fall from the sky, or is this your first time?
Well, when-
Do you make a habit of it?
When you see someone hurt, if you don't help them, that makes you a bad person.
Right.
I mean, you were, like I said earlier, you were kind of hurt pretty bad. You had blood all over you, and I'm pretty sure you had some broken ribs. It looked like you've been hit by an. Do elephants exist in this world?
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you've been hit by an elephant.
Well, close to. I actually got hit by the bye-bye hammer, but well, then not bye-bye hammer. He just kind of stammers on for a second about that, like trying to debate what he would actually call the see you later hammer. I guess you could call it. That me falling from the sky and hitting the ground was kind of intentional. I did expect there maybe to be some gods or some resistance, but I saw on my way down, all of the gods were kind of already taken care of. Your work?
We do not confirm or deny.
Right. So that's a yes. So he's going to think for a moment. Do you have an idea of the gravity of the situation?
I'm going to look at Isaac and speak in primordial. Do you have any clue what he's talking about?
I'm speaking back to him in primordial. Not one single bit.
So should we just play along? I understand. Okay. Sorry.
So, as I'm having this conversation, I'm kind of like walking around one of the tables, where there are various blacksmithing tools and stuff laid out, and I'm going to come to a stop and kind of rest one hand on the table, kind of leaning on a little bit. I'm still pretty freaking sore, and I'm just going to reach up with my left hand and sort of open my dress jacket a little bit, revealing my keeper's badge.
Is there something funny?
He's a keeper.
What was that again?
He's a keeper. Oh, you're not talking to me. You're talking to Kim. Sorry about that.
No. Isaac is asking you the question because he's fuzzy on the details. He doesn't really particularly care about that. I mean, he cares about good being done, but he doesn't particularly care about the details. So he's kind of fuzzy and is like, once he gets the answer, he'll be like, oh.
I'm going to let Kim describe it because it's going to be better coming from the person directly, and then I'll go further into it.
Sure. Yeah, so the keepers are sort of the like Mission Impossible 007 type law enforcement group for the empire that you're in. So when there's sort of like major disputes between kingdoms, they go in and negotiate peace. When ancient dragons wake up in a pissy mood, they're the ones who go in and kick them in the face. Like, they're problem solvers with a
Jedi without the Force.
Yeah, and they have a particular reputation for shoot first, shoot some more, and maybe once everybody's dead, ask a few questions. Is sort of the reputation that precedes them in a lot of cases. So a lot of your average common folk, when a keeper badge comes out, get a bit like, okay, because they don't always they don't always settle things with words.
Okay, so these would be pretty much kind of the people that Isaac would be, like, kind of admire.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess we found someone important on our little adventure.
So, I'm going to ask you again. What happened to those guards on the roof?
Well, I answered you honestly.
I'm going to look to Isaac and to Vanessa.
Don't look at me.
But I just stare at Vanessa, who's, I guess, staring at me.
There was one, but he wandered off on the other side and we couldn't see him. After that, we never saw any. So, that's putting it blatantly.
How many guards would I have seen unconscious falling to the ground from that vantage point?
In the panic of like appearing in the air, going large, splatting into it, would have been real fast, but you probably from 60 feet up would have seen 6 or 8 sort of like pending chalk outline type guards, just sort of like unconscious in various states of like ragdolls. Yeah. But yeah, so you saw at least a few. You're like, okay, one guy wandered off and you didn't like. Okay.
What about the ones that didn't wander off?
Like I said, I saw one. I paid more attention to nature, not to roofs with people on them. So I saw one personally. For them, that they have to vouch for whatever they saw.
So maybe you just fell 60, 70, 80 feet. Maybe you saw nothing.
Well, maybe I did, but... Alright, so if I don't have you to thank for clearing out those gods, I have someone else assisting me that I don't know. I was going to thank you, but I suppose I should thank you for the ride here.
Better than trying to walk the way you were.
It's fine, and you see him kind of like shrug again, and he's gonna use his other spell slot to healing word himself again. And you'll see some more of his wounds kind of just close up as a light radiates around his chest. Lots of people have tried to kill me and didn't fail, and what happened to me was intentional, so I wasn't in any real danger.
With friends like the ones you have, I guess you don't really need more enemies.
Isn't that the truth? Right, so, well...
What do you do in this place?
In, like, the city, or this shop, or...
The shop.
Well, I craft weapons and armor, or you might have seen these around the, festival lately, and I'll reach over and pull one of the pins up off of the, thing. It's basically like a small type cloak pin that has the kind of like insignia of one of the 10 kingdoms of the empire on top. Apparently were really popular during the festival, made a lot of money off of them type deal. Make these. My apprentices make jewelry and cogs and gears and things of that sort over there. I sort of nod to the other side of the room. Keeper Bellafoре works on her constructions over there. But it's a
Oh,
place
there's
of-
multiple of you, huh?
Yes, there are. And including the one that sent me teleporting and falling toward the ground, but you know, it's kind of what had to happen. Right, well, I do thank you all for assisting me, but I should advise you, it would be quite detrimental to probably your lives if you were to be seen with me at this point. So if you would like to kind of go about your way, I would completely understand. I can definitely give you some coin for your trouble. But as far as anyone knows, I'm dead. And then I'll sort of like lean in and my hand will kind of grip onto a pair of large metal tongs used for pulling metal out of a fire. And I would suggest that I stay dead, if you understand what I'm saying.
Well, two things. Making idle threats when you're
There's
clearly
nothing
outnumbered
idle about my threats.
is not worth the time that you're going to get. Second thing, my friend here, Miss Vanessa, her bow is broken. Can you fix it?
For the first, a keeper does not make idle threats. And he looks dead fucking serious about it.
Trust me as I say this, my friend. I am not my brother, and I'm not Miss Vanessa. I am not impressed by your trinkets.
And you're not aware that Kinley is behind you.
I don't care I don't care if the goddess of the earth is behind me.
She's not what all she's cracked up to be. Trust me, none of the gods you know are.
I do not know any gods. That's why I do not fear.
Before you two continue arguing, can I get some tea?
This is a blacksmith shop, not a bakery. I've got some slurry water over here. I wouldn't recommend it. It's got lots of minerals in it, though.
Miss Kim, would minerals count as earth in this world? Not to like damage or anything, but like to purify the water.
Potentially, yeah. I'd at least give you a shot at that.
All right, sure. I'll take some of that water.
I sort of just motion over to a barrel over near the anvil. That's full of like some metallic smelling sulfur water.
Never. Please take the lid off of this.
Yes, Isaac. I do.
All right. Isaac kind of taps the keg or whatever he called it, kind of kicks it with his foot, stamps his foot down, and tries to separate the non-water from the water.
Okay. How are we gonna do this? It's monk skill, but it's still a little bit magic. Let's go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Do I just click this, right? Okay.
Okay. So, you feel like you've got some of it to separate out, but the mineral water, it's specifically kind of formulated to nourish metals after you heat them up, like quenching steel and things like that. So you feel like you may have gotten some of it separated out, but it's not necessarily fully pure enough to drink. But you'd at least be able to see kind of like a separation layer kind of thing. Like if you layer two different kinds of like liquor on top of each other, you can kind of see that it's separated out a bit, but it hasn't really like removed.
All right. I guess I won't be having a drink.
Shall I
tried.
try?
Sure.
Shall I try? May I try also?
What are you gonna do to give that a shot?
Did I keep any of my grounds? Never mind. I did not keep any ground spells. Never mind.
Yeah, with Isaac's elemental manipulation as a monk, it gave him a shot at being able to like separate the earth and the water from each other. But if you don't have something to kind of kick that off, you're not really gonna get anywhere. So yeah, so Zar, you see this kind of unfold a little bit. You can tell that the water is sort of separated out to some extent, but it hasn't like, he didn't cast purify food and drink on it or anything like that. But you can tell that he's manipulated the formula of the barrel of water to some extent. It's sort of separated out, and it'll slowly kind of settle back into itself once he lets it go.
But on to number 2, I'm just gonna ignore that. He can have all that slurry water. It probably needs changed anyway. That he wants. You said your bow was broken? I look toward Vanessa.
She'll nod and pull out the splintered, broken up bow from her bag.
I don't generally, let me see it. I don't generally work with wood, but the least I can do for the ride here before you leave is repair your bow for you the best I can. And I'll take a look at it and see if I would be able to maybe fasten some metal brackets or whatever in the center to kind of bolt it back together and make it functional again.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a smith tools check.
As he's doing all of that, I'm going to walk up behind him and be like, have you ever thought about being an adventurer?
I can tell you, and he sort of turns a little bit so that you're not directly behind him. But he does it not in like a knee-jerk way, but it's very like calm and, you know, almost casual. I get plenty enough adventure in my life already, so I suppose you can say I'm already an adventurer, just an adventurer with a clear purpose. And let's see, that would be a plus proficiency, which would be 3 plus a 2 for the tools. 25.
Yeah, so it's fast work. You know, you're just kind of bracketing it together with sort of spare plates and things that you had around the shop, but there was enough raw material that you're able to get the bow at least into something functional. You'd like to have the time to really do the work proper for them, but that'll at least give her something that she can shoot reliably in the meantime. But you feel like you've at least got it functional, if not pretty.
This should work for now. I would suggest actually having a metal bow made, much less likely to snap.
How much would you charge to make metal bow?
I can give you the name of a blacksmith in the city that would happily forge you a metal bow. Personally, I don't take requests for weapons or armor.
Let's not dance. My brother and Miss Vanessa is smitten. They love and admire who you are. And that trinket. Is there any way I could talk you into allowing you to do this for Miss Vanessa while they get to know a keeper?
Here's the thing. It would look quite suspicious if smoke was billowing out of my forge this time of night, right after I'm supposed to have been killed.
He does have a point.
And so yes, would you all, I don't know, 50 gold apiece sound good for the pick up and ride over here, and we can go about our separate ways? As I said, you really don't want to get tied up in the mess that I currently find myself in.
I do have to ask, why fake a death if you're not scared of the situation you're in? Do you need protection?
No, I don't need protection, but needless to say that the situation I am in is one of my own creation in conjunction with a few others, and it's to achieve a goal that I am not at liberty to speak about.
Quick question, Miss Kim.
Mhm.
Being that Isaac kind of is being the quiet kind of reserved person he does kind of look at people and stuff like that. Would he be able to somehow discern that there was something much larger going on?
Go ahead and make an insight check for that.
Due to my intelligence, can I do that also?
Yeah, I'll give you a shot at that. I mean, you're having a casual-ish conversation. You're not distracted by other things, so you're at least kind of clued into what's going on.
Welcome to Tuesdays.
Where the
No, there's nothing different about what's happening right now with my rolls.
nope. This is how things go in our particular campaign. Everybody rolls terribly, unless it's completely irrelevant. Then everyone rolls awesome. So you get it's very apparent that Czar is holding back a lot of detail. He's being elusive and vague and just kind of like, I'm a keeper, just leave it alone. This doesn't concern you. This is above your pay grade, that kind of spiel. But the extent of that, or the severity of what he's in the middle of, is not coming out in what he's saying. He's being elusive enough that you're like, okay, he's in the middle of some deep shit, but I'm not really sure how deep or what it is. It's just clearly something big if he's faking his own death as a keeper.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help these guys out.
Where's your friends that helped you fake the death?
They'll be along soon.
And as soon as he says that, I'm going to go into sentry mode and say, I stay here and protect you until they're here, and I go into sentry mode.
I'm gonna look at the construct and then look over to Isaac and Vanessa. It is quite an interesting construct you have. I've not seen machinations with a personality before that I can remember. You're welcome. You're obviously quite a skilled metalsmith yourself. And the word sounds strange coming out of his mouth because he's taking in that, you are kind of how I don't know any better way to say this, missing your arms.
Mhm.
So he's not sure exactly how you would. Yeah. So did you make him, or did you buy him from someone, or
It's a long story. But if you're interested in hearing it, instead of the gold, you could give me some tea.
I don't have any tea. But I will go to the back of the room, and there is some fresh water that is kept back there, as you do get thirsty working in a forge. I suppose I at least owe you a cool drink of water.
That'll work.
And I'll go fetch you a cup. It's kind of like a metal mug with the words "World's Best Blacksmith" kind of engraved on it.
Of course. How do you already have that like you couldn't
Okay, maybe it doesn't have "World's Best Blacksmith" on it, but I'll bring you a mug. I was just trying to flavor things. I'm sorry.
There is a minimum level of realism, and there was not enough time of you owning
I
the shop
know.
to acquire a world's best blacksmith mug. You need
I
like
know.
3 more days, and you didn't have.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Would there be a chair nearby that Isaac would be able to sit in?
Yeah, there would be chairs in here.
Okay. Isaac sits down in a chair and waits for the mug.
Alright, I'll bring it and set it on the kind of table in front of you.
Isaac kind of like balances himself onto the chair and takes the mug with his feet and drinks.
Okay.
That's good
Well,
water.
It's I think from the lake up above, and then we boiled it a bit and ran it through some cloth. It's nothing really special. But go ahead, tell me your story. And he's gonna kind of walk around the shop a little bit, kind of like, cleaning up and putting things away and whatnot as he's like listening to the story, and slowly, kind of work his way around the shop over to Kinley's section as he's listening to the story.
Right. Would it be better if I just sent you the off, like not character wise, but like out of character? Would it be best if I just sent you the document?
No,
'Cause
no.
it's a-
Shorthand it. Like,
Yeah,
shorthand
just-
your own story.
Give him
Uh.
like the super Cliff Notes version of it.
Let me open it right quick.
And before you say something, Sean wanted to say something to David's character before everything. So
The construct won't be moving for a while, so there's no point for us to really speed along, I guess so to say. And with that, she will slide down along the wall next to the door and just sort of observe.
Right.
So you now have squatters in your blacksmith shop,
Yep.
essentially.
Just for the record, Kim, as I'm hearing the story and whatnot, and I'm over on Kinley's side of the shop.
Mhm.
I'm kind of over there near like where she keeps her black powder. Just in case. I need to throw it and blow some shit up.
Okay, just in case.
Just in case.
There's not a whole lot in there because it's dangerous to keep black powder lying around in a blacksmith
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah, but Zar doesn't have his weapon, and he's trying to think of the best things that he would have at his disposal to defend himself.
Mhm.
And boom powder would probably be on that list of, okay, yeah, I can throw this, I can light it on fire, it'll explode, it'll blind them or blow their face off or something.
Probably
and
some of the
then-
old pistols lying around there too.
Okay.
Or scrap parts and things of
Oh.
that sort. But try you're hopefully you're not gonna need it, but you're at least trying to like eyeball things. Like if I grab that and I throw
Yeah.
this and I put
As a player, I have no intentions of attacking new party members, but as a character, I'm still extremely suspicious of these circumstances.
Mhm.
And if they try some shit, I'm gonna be ready for it. That's just
Right.
how Czar is.
So real quick, we'll before you give your Cliff Notey version of the story, we'll cut to Lucy and Kinley, who are back at the house. Kinley, you had the opportunity to kind of loop Lucy in on what's going on here, and then you guys can figure out what you want to do.
All right. I'm like, look at this dress. It's ruined. Mother is going to kill me.
We can always getting repaired.
Yeah, but it's her money. It's like, gosh, it's going to kill me. Oh, well. As we're talking, I'm getting changed, getting all my gear back on, and...
Should I perhaps put my armor on, and would that make too much noise?
Well, I mean, we're not gonna... I mean, I'm going in there fully loaded. I don't know if he's at the Smith shop. I mean, knowing Czar, he's probably got some disastrous plan in mind.
He's probably in trouble. You're right. I will put my armor on. Well, if he's not in trouble, I'll retract my statement.
Better to be prepared.
Yes. So Lucy's putting her gold armor on.
Mm-hmm.
After
Yeah.
she
So
got the dress.
gotten filled in on like, hey, it was, Bella was in on it. It was according to plan. There were some people and a horse and shenanigans and
Part of it was to plan.
yeah.
You know, it would have been quite. I would have liked being told this would happen. It would have kept me from looking like a fool. But...
She only had time to fill me in between dances, so.
Yes, I was distracting Caroline, I suppose, while you were making this plan.
Well, it's her plan. She just filled me in on, where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't have tapped me on the shoulder to
Didn't have time.
announce that you were leaving.
Did not have time.
Yeah, it all happened real fast. There wasn't a lot of.
Well, Lucy's like, yeah, I got left out of the loop. Feels bad. I could have flown and swept him before they got to him, but it's alright.
He was already long gone by the time I got there. I barely caught up for them before they hopped on those horses and took off.
What kind of horses did you say it looked like again?
Some kind of magical steeds. I've seen them before around, Mother uses them sometimes, but I don't have much magic on me, so I haven't done anything with that.
Where is Finnegan when we do need him?
I don't know where he ran off to this time.
Either of them.
He's probably looking
You
on more
said-
tax records.
You said he was at his blacksmith shop?
He didn't say it straight up, but from the clue he kind of yelled to me as they were dragging him away on the horses. I think that's where they ended up.
I guess we should hurry and see then.
Probably.
Alright, so putting on our armor and then they'll go.
Gear up and make your way back down. So we'll cut over back to in the blacksmith shop, and somewhere along the way you're gonna either politely knock on the door or kick it down and.
Did you lock the door?
Kinley's got a key.
Did you lock the door when you came in?
I did not. I very specifically did not say I locked the door. I said I closed it.
Just closed it. So how you choose to interrupt the proceedings is up to you. If you want to quietly enter, knock on the door, or just kick it in and
Open the door.
Oh, it's my
guns
shop. I'll
blazing.
just walk in like, it's my shop.
Yeah. That'll be up to you guys, but we'll cut back to them, let you tell your Cliff Note version of the story, and then at some point in there you'll get like and then the door opens.
All right. When I was a kid, I kind of lost my arms. I don't remember the particular details since I was so young, and it kind of just happened. I don't know why it happened. It just did. But after all of that, I was taken in by the monks who raised me, and I found out that my brother had died. That's who's in the construct. Uh, I found out about that through my how to make constructs through my family's alchemist tomes, and from there I'd studied and studied and studied and studied and studied and studied and studied more, and finally learned how to make my own pair of arms. And then after that, I decided to make him and give him a body, because I mean, he was just a soul tethered to something. It's kind of weird being just a soul tethered to something. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. That's quite an interesting story.
After that, I decided to go on an adventure with my brother. Try to see if I could find his body, you know? See if bring him some kind of solace out of being a metal thing. But you know what? For right now, it kind of works.
Right. So, okay, that definitely, I think, explains why he's different than other mechanical constructs that I've seen. And what's her story? I sort of nod over toward Vanessa, who's squatting over on his wall.
To be honest, I really don't know. My brother knows her from somewhere, but I don't know.
I see. And you said you all were adventuring. What type of adventuring are you undertaking? Are you on a quest? Are you just sort of working odd jobs here and there and seeing the island, or?
I want to put my brother back into his own kind of body, outside of some kind of metal construct. That's the reason why I'm adventuring.
Yes, you sort of told me that already. Sorry. Just lots happened over the past couple of hours.
I mean, you were kind of badly beaten.
Oh, it could have been much worse. I'm pretty sure she didn't hit me with that hammer as hard as she could have.
Miss Kim,
Mhm.
would through the seismic kind of sense that he has, that Isaac kind of has, would he be able to detect people coming towards, like not like getting ready for battle or anything, but be able to detect that there's somebody coming near the house?
Let me take a look real quick. What do we got?
Lucy's in armor, so I don't know. That probably helps with that.
Well,
Gives you a little better odds of that.
Oh, we're both in armor.
plus, we're on
so-
top of a volcano, so there's probably a lot of seismic activity too.
Yeah. Your passive perception's pretty solid. It's nighttime. Things are pretty quiet in town. This and the other thing.
It's actually a pretty cool idea, Lolly.
Yeah. I would say that given the current circumstances, you would at least get a sense that, yeah, a little bit of a sense that there's more than just the three of you in your immediate proximity, or four of you in your immediate proximity, but not necessarily like a clear image of who or how many or any of that. Like you just kind of get like a vibe of like, there's company.
I have a question for GM.
Sure.
Has the rules of what a construct does during the century changed?
Have the rules changed?
Like, have you personally changed the rules to what they when the characters were being made? What a century mode does for a construct?
Oh, no, I haven't home.
So I can feel everything within 60 feet of my location. I can sense 60 feet around me, unless that's been changed since we made the other one.
Yeah, cool thing about a Warforged, rest of the party never has to stand watch.
Yeah, I do know that they don't have to worry about like exhaustion and things like that. But not seeing any kind of like a tremor sense or anything of that sort that would give you like a 60-foot detection range. I think they may have taken that out when they did the Eberron.
Okay, because when the original construct was made, not only did nobody have to, we never had to make rolls at night when I went in sentry mode because I can sense everything around me for 60 feet. That's why I was wondering.
Well, the sentries.
Yeah,
the sentries
you can see and hear as normal. So your normal senses are still in place, but you wouldn't have like a extra senses or anything like that. You would while you're in sentry mode, you can still kind of like see people coming or like hear somebody sneaking up on you, but you wouldn't have like blind sight or tremor sense or any of that kind of extra sensing. So you'd still have to make normal perception checks and stuff for that, but you would at least be like, you're not shut off, you're still alert, you're just immobile while you're doing that.
All right, Wally, you the MVP, sir.
All right.
So you as this is all going on, you do kind of get that little bit of extra sense of other people are in the immediate vicinity as Kinley is sort of letting herself into her shop that she co-owns.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by Lucy.
And followed immediately by Lucy in her clink clank heavy duty plate armor that fits like a glove, courtesy of Bella. So you let yourself into the shop expecting, not really sure necessarily what to expect. You're not hearing scuffling or sounds of skirmish. It seems to just be kind of like a chill fireside chat or forge side chat going on in the back room.
What do I see in the front of the shop? Because they're in the back, so.
They're in the back, so you're out front. You're not seeing them, but you're not hearing the sounds of anybody in like a scuffle or right. You don't hear Cesar like yelling bloody murder for somebody to come save him. You're just like, seems okay.
Are you sure he's here?
Oh, I'm not in the back.
Oh?
I'm not in the back.
You didn't go back with them?
No, I thought you
No,
did.
I went sentry in the front of the store when they were still talking about the things out front.
Oh, you didn't say in the front of the store. You just said you went in sentry mode. That's where the confusion is.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm in the front of the store. I'm that's where I'm at. So they would see me as soon as they walk in the damn door. Damn
Okay.
it.
Okay, I'll buy that. You stroll in. He can see / hear you enter the room as well. But
Right.
you just see.
Well, if I
what
see this
looks to be...
large, weird mechanical thing in my shop, the guns just go flying out and pointing. It's like,
if you pull out the gun, Lucy will kind of put her hand on your arm and like lower it. Like, we don't know what it is.
I'm not pulling the trigger, but there's still a strange thing in my shop.
This thing could hurt a lot. I've heard stories.
Would I hear this going on in the other room as
Probably.
Like, Kinley sounded kind of excited there.
Yeah. I don't.
Lucy's
I think
closing
in
the door.
Getting kind of taken off guard by a
If you don't interject, you'll never be spoken.
large word figure like that, then it would be loud enough that you'd be like, oh hey, my friends are here.
Mister, I think your friends are around, or at least somebody who's entered the shop without force. Maybe you should go tell them that we're not your enemies, or at least that we're not hostile.
I'll just not moving from behind where I've got like a pouch full of black powder in my hand, kind of thing. I'm just gonna say, I'm back here.
What are you doing back there? Lucy
Well, why
kinda
don't you
closes
come
the
back
door.
here and find out?
Isaac.
Lock the
Closes
door
Lisa.
behind you.
There's a weird metal
Okay.
construct.
Very, very
It's-
hesitantly, I'll put one gun away, kick the door closed and lock it, and make my way to the back, keeping the gun on this weird metal construct that's in the front of my shop.
Would Lucy have seen these things in frickin' Fentallusia? Since it's the land of magic? Like, we
you-
saw the dog that one time.
Yeah, you would have familiarity with what constructs are. This isn't something that's like a totally foreign concept. Just the fact that there's, which you don't know yet, but the fact that there's like a person bound to it and stuff is not what you're accustomed to. But the existence of these kinds of construct people is not
Yeah.
a foreign thing for you.
It's not that I don't know what it is. It's more that why is it in my shop and what's it doing here? And
I'm a big black, fiery inside burning thing in the middle of somebody's shop. He's gonna be a little bit irritated. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like a little bit of weariness or wariness and suspicion is not inappropriate in this moment.
Okay, so Lucy would make her way back and just look around to the other two and be like, whoever owns that should probably move it. Or because in her mind, it's controlled by somebody. It's not its own.
I will make my way to the
Living.
back carefully.
What did you say, Sean?
But it's fine on its own. It's not moving. It's not interrupting anybody. It's simply watching and guarding.
It's disturbing, that's what it is. But yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I do kind of have to agree with my friend Lucy here. If someone was to peek into the window and see a large burning metal construct just standing in the middle of a shop that's normally not there, it may raise a few flags.
I am a human. I can hear you.
Lucy kind of looks back. Wait, these things aren't supposed to.
It's a long story. Did you
Why?
bring my equipment?
Oh yes, and she's gonna pull out like your belt with all your stuff attached to it.
Well, at least you're in like one piece.
I at this point I'm actually fully healed. I look scuffed up, but no worse for wear.
That's a nasty fall you took there.
Well, I did get smacked by a see you later hammer, so
Which, by the way, apparently Bella went easy on you, so she didn't actually go full force. So should probably think about that.
I sort of grin a little bit and I look at our new companion. See, I told you she could have hit me harder.
You
Oh,
probably
at
have
least you're
more
not
broken
dead.
ribs.
So,
What broken ribs? You just see him sort of like rub his sides and poke at him, and he seems to be pretty good.
so still very
Pay
cautiously.
no attention to the blood stains
Yeah.
all over the clothing. Like this is
Yeah.
fine.
That is why Isaac is just loudly sipping his cup like nothing is wrong.
Still
So
very
who-
cautiously, going around towards the back of the shop. So, who are your new friends?
Yeah, who are these people? Kind of eyes
Well-
them both.
This is Isaac.
Hello.
The person that you met in the front of the shop, that's Never. And the lady lounging over there against the wall, that is Vanessa.
Huh. Okay. I'm guessing since the shop's still in one piece, that somewhat friendly.
Well,
I was
go ahead.
I was wanting tea, but he doesn't have any here, or at least there's none that he will be willing to give me.
Because he doesn't
The
know where I
water's
keep my
been
tea
good.
stash.
All right, so as you sort of like, I guess, walk over to your section for your stash of tea,
Yeah.
and I'm like getting ready. You could probably see I've moved several of your things around, and kind of where I'm standing would be like a pouch of the black powder, like
Totally, completely expected.
yeah. But you guys would Caesar kind of like no shame, strip down all of his clothing, put on his studded leather armor, his cloak, leaves the hood down for now, a weapon belt that has 2 rapiers on it. One of them seems to be a lot fancier than the others. And yeah, just sort of getting ready while I guess Kinley goes and gets her tea. But so yeah, it was they're quite friendly for kidnappers.
I see.
I'd rather not be called a kidnapper.
I mean, well, I mean, to be fair, you picked someone up off of the street and ran away with them and told them not to resist. That's kind of what kidnapping is technically, but
What kind of kidnapper brings the kid back to their own home?
bad ones. But like I said, I thank you for what you did. It is appreciated. Though I still think you all don't know what kind of mess you're getting yourselves into. And I'm not saying that because I'm not appreciative of what you've done. I'm saying that because you'll. I'm trying to keep you out of mortal danger.
It's kind of a little too late for that, you know?
No, not really. I mean, you could just head out and go about your way, continue your adventure to find your brother's body, and she can continue looking malcontent with everything that's going on. He sort of waggles his finger over toward Vanessa.
Did you just say? All right, later for that one.
But
Lucy looks weirded
you-
out at the mention of the body.
You said mortal danger.
yes, let's just say what's going on is meant for the keepers to handle, not just everyday fine outstanding citizens looking to do a good deed.
If Lucy was to judge the 2 characters around her, would she be able to put fine-standing citizens with these, or would that not match her definition of upstanding citizens? Would I need an insight check on them?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check for that. Conversation's been pretty brief, so you're going mostly off of kind of first impressions and general appearance and things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask, since I've been talking to them for a while, if I could get a good insight check in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty casual so far for the most part. So
12.
So Lucy, you can at least kind of get the sense of they're not your average happenstance strolling by person. There's a little more to them than that, but beyond that, whether it's good, bad, on your team, not on your team, any of that's all beyond you. You just know that they got a little bit more up their proverbial sleeve than your average sort of citizen on the street would have.
Then feeling that, okay, Lucy's gonna do something, but if you wanna tell what Zar sees,
Yeah,
she's
and then I'll
actually
let
gonna
you do your next step
something.
on that. So, Czar, you've been at this chat for a little while. You get the sense that as much as you've been holding back, there's still a few things that they're not fully coming clean about either. But it doesn't necessarily seem to be out of any kind of like malevolent intention, more of just, you don't really know us, we don't really know you very well, we've got some stuff we don't want to, accidentally give up our friends kind of a thing. Like, you can tell that they're keeping a few things close to the chest, but not in a malicious manner, but more of just in a we're being cautious for the sake of unpresent parties.
As all of this has happened, I'm going to speak to Isaac in our language. They're in danger, brother. This seems like a good adventure.
It does, to be honest. I'm speaking to him, and it does. To be honest, I kind of want to join them, but I honestly don't think they're going to be so willing.
Look over at Vanessa. Sometimes the unwilling becomes the willing.
Okay, so as I said, after Lucy gets that kind of vibe, she is gonna use her divine sense to detect if there's not more to it.
Okay.
That in a very strong, weird language is being spoken directly in front of you.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, that's all going.
Wait, what language is that?
Primordial.
Lucy understands everything of that.
Yeah. Lucy's
I asked
fluent in
that.
primordial.
I didn't know that she spoke primordial.
So we have to retcon that out.
You were trying to deliberately pick a language that nobody spoke, so it would be
Correct.
just the two of you.
Correct.
Okay.
So, for the sake of a
That Zenins and we're just gonna go with Zenins.
bookkeeping error, we'll say
Okay.
that is a unique to the
Language.
party language that you have.
Okay.
That's fine. Because that was the intention, and it just got missed when we
Yeah.
were cross-referencing all the names of
Yeah.
languages and
Gotcha.
stuff. So that's fine. But double checking divine sense, you can detect good and evil. You can sense anything affected by the hollow spell. No location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. You can use it 3 times per long. Okay, so nothing affected by the hollow spell. No celestial fiends or undeads within 60 feet of you. You get sort of like a slight, hair on the back of your neck stand up tingle of something, but it's not enough to register as like a proper, evil burnt neon
But there's
sign.
a hint.
There's just a hint of something in the room is a little off.
Oh.
But it's more of just like a bad vibe kind of a thing than like an actual divine sense ping where you're like, aha.
There's
you
no
just-
fiends here, Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Zar was to look at her, you'd see her squint her eyes a little bit, like there's, in a manner that there's something that's not right here.
So, the thing that's bothering me, Isaac, Vanessa, and Nevers.
Just one thing.
Well, for the moment, this is what's bothering him.
Sorry.
I was like, all of that, and there's just one thing.
Is just how you happen to be there in the middle of a bunch of unconscious gods as I fell from the sky to hit the ground to scoop me up and run away with me. I don't believe in coincidences.
If I speak the truth, you promise not to judge my brother and Miss Vanessa?
I have a way to make you speak the truth, and I'll know if you lie.
I was making sure my microphone was unmuted. I was like, oh, damn it.
I don't think that's needed right now, Lucy.
If you say so.
So while they're doing all this, I have gone to one of my shelves and opened up a secret little cabinet, pulled out my tea set, made a bunch of tea.
I didn't know you had that. And I'll look back over toward Never. In light that you all showed good intentions on bringing me to my shop and being quite polite guests, and considering my own circumstances currently and how odd it would be for me to judge others currently during my situation, you may speak freely without worry of immediate issue.
As my brother has told you, and you understand, I am not a normal warforged. I am not one that is controlled by one person.
I've gathered that much.
I tricked my brother and Vanessa into trying to steal from the ball to
So,
help fund my brother's adventure into whatever he happens to be doing today.
so you're thieves.
No, just me.
You're a spellcaster thief?
So
Oh wait.
Sometimes the most obvious things are not so obvious. And as I did not kill, I disposed of the guards. You fell like a big, disturbing bird to the ground. And you became more of an importance to my brother than my want to fund things in the future.
Well, I suppose if you're looking for adventure, you found a hell of an adventure.
I'm gonna want to insight that
Sure.
because it does seem like a very important story.
Can you even incite the construct?
Yeah.
It is
Sure.
like
Nat
anything.
20.
Holy
Okay.
shit!
You could
Um,
you could have rolled a 1, bro.
So, if you would like to contest that, if you are attempting to be particular about your truths, you can try to counter roll it with a deception to see how well you do. But otherwise, you can explain how truthful you're being in this moment.
Everything I have said thus far that has spoken out of my mouth is true.
So there's your insight check.
Okay.
You managed to roll an ad 20. So,
Yeah.
There goes your nat 20 for the night. Congratulations.
mhm.
You caught the non-liar.
Yeah, for the night, more like for like the month. But
Oh shit.
yeah,
It's
we
like
we
that
roll
around
we roll
here?
real bad. We roll real bad around here.
Oh, okay.
Haven't you seen all the 6s and 9s around here?
And,
Yeah.
and I'll nod. Question for you, DM. How many of those scrolls got made during the time that I requested they be made, and what has passed for now?
The sendings.
Yes. Because I had the
Um,
one initially, and more were supposed to have been made and delivered over time.
Oh yeah. Realistically, because there was some back and forth thing about like, well, do you really need them? You got the stone and this and that and the other thing, and we'll go ahead and say that.
I'm not planning on using one right now, but that popped in my mind because.
Okay. You realistically have like 2 or 3 probably.
Okay. I see. Well, Then, as I offered earlier, I will be more than happy to pay you for the services rendered this evening quite handsomely. That should go a lot toward your goal of you and your brother's quest. And perhaps a bit for your friend over there to buy herself a new bow. Even a metal one. I would suggest if you're looking for a top quality work, Bella Ormall in town does have a fine selection of weapons.
It's gonna cost you.
She does
Wowza.
tend to run on the expensive side.
Lolly, I'm asking you a question in DMs on Discord, sir.
Okay.
Not entirely like out of character. I'm not entirely sure what to do here because these people are like complete strangers that just scooped me up and ran off with me. They appear to be telling the truth.
Yep.
I don't want to get innocent people killed, so I am trying to get rid of them because I know what comes next, which is me having to kind of make contact with the resistance. And if these guys don't appear to be or seem to be resistance, I'm going to kind of want to get past them being here and out of the way so that I can move on to what's supposed to be happening in his mind.
Right.
So to explain his way of thinking right
So you gathered Zar off the roof, brought him here, waited with him for us to get here, is I suppose what happened. But now what? We're here. He's safe.
Sipping on my tea. I don't think they were expecting us.
Probably.
Zar probably was, but I don't think they were.
Well, I've got to say, Kinley, you're very good at picking up a hint.
Yeah, it wasn't. I figured if you were going to try and lead them anywhere, it'd be someplace we knew.
Yeah, and plus, I knew you got quite the logical mind, so you would easily figure out where it's made.
I'm
Pardon
more
me
of a read the room kind of person, I suppose.
So, it's
We are
Did
ready
it-
now. The
did it
three of us
decent.
are ready.
Let me get back into character right quick. Just messed me up. Kenley, was it?
Oh yes, I guess there hasn't been introductions, has there? Yes, my name is Kinley, and you would be.
I am Isaac, and if you wouldn't mind, could you fill this empty cup with some tea? Isaac then uses his feet to point the cup towards Kinley.
Sure. I
Thank
come over
you.
and fill up your cup with some nice like jasmine tea.
just lean your mic slightly there.
So,
So yeah, a decent amount of time has gone by at this point. So while you're kind of conversing and trying to politely get rid of your new
people I don't want to see die, yeah.
Yeah, because you know you're in some like Vanessa, you're kind of chilling off in the corner, and you get a sending in your head that is effectively the group that you were in contact with, checking to see if you guys are okay. Like you didn't meet up at the rendezvous spot after, like, is everything okay? Do you need help? Did you get away okay? Did you get captured? You know, give like 2 coughs for we're okay, 1 cough for we're in deep shit, kind of a thing. Like they're trying to ping you to see if you need help or if you're in trouble or whatever.
She'll push up from her wall, and she'll bow politely to the group, and she'll say that she's gonna go outside for a quick breather. And when she leaves the building,
The door is locked.
oh, the door's locked. She's gonna try and leave the building and notice that the door is locked and turn around and walk back into the room. Can I be let out real quick? I sort of need a breather. The heat is getting to me.
Czar will pull the hood up on his cloak, and you'll kind of notice as he does, it's kind of extremely difficult to make out any of his features. Like beyond normal, somebody wearing a hood, it's almost like, you know, his face just becomes like completely ordinary, like you wouldn't really notice it's him, kind of thing. And he will nod and lead you to the front door. And before opening the door and letting her out, he is going to take a good look out the windows and make sure that there are no guards or anything to currently present.
Sure. You can make a perception check for that. If any, to try to spot anybody in the vicinity nearby.
Nope, looks clear. Key in the door, unlocked.
Fortunately, Vanessa's pretty on the ball in that department. So as she's kind of like peeking her head out looking as well, she's not spotting anything either. The kind of rangery vibes that you're getting off her sort of like give you a hint that she's on the ball when it comes to being perceptive and aware of the surroundings. So you're like, okay, I can at least.
I'd suggest keeping out of sight. The gods will stop and question you if they see you walking the streets at night.
I won't be far, just outside the wall of the building.
Right. I'll let her out. And lurk for her return. Because when she comes back in, I want to lock the door, so...
Right. Yeah, so you step outside and kind of like around the corner from the building a little bit to give yourself a little bit of privacy and a chance to respond.
Out of character question. Does if or when we get to explaining specifics, like, you know, past the tongue-in-cheek dance that we're doing in there right now, if or when we get to explain to the specifics, Czar needs to be there, correct?
Correct. No,
yeah.
correct, correct. 100%.
Okay, so for right now, until they come back, we're still tongue-in-cheeking.
Yeah, everybody is being especially coy with each other, which is, you know, fine, but making my life considerably difficult, but it's totally fine. Everyone's fine. We're all good. But yeah.
Well, it's not an easy subject. It's not
No,
like you walk up to somebody, hey, you a rebel? Yeah, you want to help us out?
It's very, very much a legitimate way to play this scenario. It's just everyone's being super coy, and I'm like, I need to just nudge.
You need Lucy to do the obvious. That's what you need right now.
No.
No.
Trust me when I say this. Let this run for the.
It's-
I know.
gonna be
I'm
technical.
making a joke.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked about the scrolls ascending, so that, you know, in case things didn't pan out, I could send a message and maybe get something back like, wait, you didn't go with the 3 people that picked you up and ran away with you?
No, but this is not one of those, oh, you're a construct, moments. Like, we'll get there. So, Vanessa, you're outside, you're around the corner, you've got the vague semblance of privacy and the chance to respond to that message from the group that you were on this sort of little mission with.
So yeah, she'll give the rundown of what has presumably happened out of plan, which is they are currently in the town at the shop of this man that they were supposed to pick up and bring back to said point. the fact that our little construct friend likes to be truthful and friendly is why we're here. But she doesn't like to speak out of character for the reasons that she can't towards them. So she is willingly went with them on that little endeavor, and after she sends that message, she will wait for a response. But she'll walk back inside and just stand in that front room.
Mhm.
That way, the Mr. Paranoid man is not more paranoid.
I'll close the door and lock it, and consider for a moment. You've been very quiet while your friends have been doing all of the talking. You seem to be a rather practical person to me, skilled. And he's gonna say, "What are you really doing?"
She'll look at him. And she'll look at Navar. And then
Well, they're in the
Center-
other room. Oh no, Navarre's in here with us. Yeah.
Navar's in-
Yeah.
She'll look past him. A deep sigh as she looks at the door at the back room and then back towards Zar. We weren't. She's gonna say this in a very low tone as best she can. We weren't exactly supposed to bring you back here, but since Navar likes to be friendly, he trusts you more than I think we should throw you. We came here with you. So, we'll put it in the lightest tone that I could put it. Is, you've said the word several times about this resistance thing.
I have
We'll
not
just go
I have not mentioned the resistance.
You have not?
No, I have not.
I'm trying to sync that. Give me a minute.
I said it was tongue in cheek.
Everybody's been beating around the bush extensively.
She'll take a second look at Navar. I'll just let the boy explain it to you. Probably be easier for him. And she'll motion towards Navar for Zar to look at him.
You see Zar reach up, which none of his companions can see this. They know this is a telltale sign, but you just see him reach up with one hand and kind of pinch the bridge of his nose in between his eyes for a moment as he's trying to quell his frustration.
This-
So you sorry, give it.
I
one
was
second.
all okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So the reply that you get Vanessa to kind of looping him in, like, "Hey, we took the keeper on the roof off," is basically like a, "Wait, he's not dead? That didn't kill him? What? Yeah, we wouldn't mind having a conversation with him if he still has a pulse." That's kind of what you get back. So, what were you about to say, Never?
You're muted, Rev, just so you know.
Oh, I unmuted my microphone to talk again. Yeah.
You mean muted your microphone to talk again? Yeah.
I think that we should have everyone around. I tell story.
I think it's probably best you tell me your story right now,
I did not.
because out of my companions, I am the one least likely to take issue with anything you might want to say.
I take what you say to heart, but understand that the grave danger you speak of is why we're here.
If that's the case, you definitely don't want to let them know that.
I did not lie to you when I told you we were there to steal something.
I'm not lying to you if I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It was you.
Yes. But if I'm picking up what you're putting down about the danger that I am in, they can't be in, they can't know.
How are you going to meet with our bosses without your confidants knowing?
That's easy. And I'm going to walk past him and I'm going to stick my head in the door and I'm going to say, right, well, Lucy, Kinley, I'm leaving. I'll meet you
Uh.
back at the house.
Where are you going?
None of your business.
You just crashed off a roof. How?
Sipping my tea, I go. Just don't do anything stupid.
Oh, you
Do
know
I
he's gonna
ever?
do something stupid.
Do I even need to answer that?
You kind of
Do I need to remind you that you would probably have to worry more about them than me?
I don't have to worry about them.
Isaac just calmly sips his tea.
In whatever language we decide at a later date, I say to Isaac, Isaac, stay with them, protect them.
All right.
So what? Are we supposed to stay here until you come back?
I said I would meet you back at the house. Though I might look a little bit different coming in. Can't be seen running around Marselheim when I'm dead, you know.
Of course. Lucy is very annoyed right now.
And as I say that, I'm going to go ahead and activate my Ring of Disguise. And you would see my features drastically change. I look like a bald, middle-aged man. And my clothing sort of, as it shimmers over, is more like a robe. No, I'm not doing the voice. I'm not doing that one. I'm not doing that one. And I look more, I would say I look more like a priest at the moment, or a cleric, than what I did before.
Does Alchemist have like uniform type things in this world?
Not especially, no.
Okay.
There wouldn't be like a set uniform or standard attire kind of thing. No.
I would say Lucy would notice around this new form's neck that this illusion would be hanging an amulet that bears the holy symbol for Lathander on it.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Did you have to do that?
I don't know. Did you have to remodel my god's temple?
What?
I think this is quite fitting.
Things.
And he's just gonna turn around and look at Naver and Vanessa. Shall we go?
How dare you place that on me?
We'll talk about it later, princess.
I'll shove that word up your...
See you whenever you get home.
Don't forget to lock up Kinley.
Of course not.
Oh.
Isaac puts the empty cup onto the table and then turns to to Kinley and Lucy and asks, "Do you have a place to paint?"
I'm sure there's a room in the house that could be used for that.
Do we really want to bring him in the house, though?
Do we have? Are we gonna sit here in the shop all night?
Probably not.
All right.
I guess we'll have to hurry before people catch us being out at this time of night and asks us questions then.
Hey.
More specifically, why this man is following us.
Because he's with us. That's not the explanation they need.
You know what I mean.
So we're gonna basically divvy up the party at this point. Kinley, Lucy, and Isaac are gonna head back to the house. Zar, Vanessa, and Never are going to head off to rendezvous people, things, stuff.
With my boss.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take our 10-minute break here.
Woo.
We're about halfway through the normal session time, and when we come back, we'll pick up with the party forking off to go cause more trouble.
Splitting the party.
Again.
So
You're split
we're
this
gonna do
time.
the giveaways during the break here, or I don't know how you're. Running
I
that.
am going to do a giveaway for a set, a very nice set. Actually, it's 6 sets of
Ooh,
polyhedral dice.
sounds fancy.
As we did hit our donation goal, or not donation goal, but our follower goal.
Yeah.
Yay!
So let me go ahead and clear the old giveaway
Very nice.
and
So,
open a new one.
still trying to hit that 100 sub
Oh,
goal.
that's not for a dice tower. Reset.
Nope. I ain't giving away that yet.
Not yet.
No. Remember, I gave away a dice tower before.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Why. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Raffle.
All right, there we go. So make sure to type !raffle in chat, and you'll be entered into the raffle to win the set of physical dice. They're really nice and pretty and different colors and all of that stuff. Let your friends and family and whoever know that we're doing a giveaway. Tweet it out. Get people in here, and we'll roll sometime over the next couple of hours. We'll give people plenty of time to log in and come
Knock
by
that out.
and join the raffle.
Yep.
Yeah, as everybody is typing away.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
So off to break. 10-minute break.
Start the ad now. 20 minutes. Yeah. I would hope
Which-
not.
We are back,
She's
everybody.
got so many fun heads in her collection. Which
And
that'll
we
be
are
a thing.
back.
We are back.
Yeah.
Was thinking wistfully of future reveals of things because that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Basically, Bella's bottomless supply of hammerheads that do cool shit is one of my favorite things. I love it. But anyway, we left off with the party forking the road to some extent here. Lucy Kinley and Isaac have gone back to the residence that you have in Marcelheim, trying very hard not to draw attention to yourselves and your new house guest. Meanwhile, Vanessa, Navarre, and Czar, in disguise, have gone off to rendezvous with the person who put together this little op that they were on. That they've been a little nebulous on the exact details of. They've given you enough information to kind of get a gist of what was going on, but it wasn't really clear on the who or the why of it all in that particular scenario.
Czar's not sure if he's going to meet rebels or cultists at this point, so should be a nice surprise.
Yeah. Just because of how everybody role played it out, perfectly valid given the newness of everyone meeting each other for the first time
And someone's soul stuck in a metal suit of armor that is burning on the inside. That kind of puts the idea of cultists in his head. But either way, both are according to plan, kind of. So
sort of.
Yeah.
At least to some extent. So they lead you through lower Umlaut here, Umlaut proper. Yeah, it is. So they lead you through Umlaut proper, kind of winding through some of the alleyway back tunnel system that sort of exists behind, outside of the main rings. Everything that's sort of all this back alley, or like the underground equivalent of back alley dealings. They sort of lead you through this labyrinth. They're making a lot of lefts and rights and rights and lefts, and seemingly deliberately trying to spin you about a little bit, so that it would be difficult for you to navigate your way back here, just in case. But eventually, you find yourself in. I'm trying to think. Do I still have a appropriate map for that purpose? I don't think I do. I think I archived it. I don't have it handy. So they basically stop in front of a door, and give it a bit of a, shaving a haircut's kind of a specialty knock, and the door opens up, escorts you in. You can spot that there's not a lot of people here. They've clearly sort of made themselves scarce for the most part. They were just sort of like a door guy and whoever it is that you're meeting. You're not seeing like a room full of people or like a barracks or any of that kind of stuff. So you sort of enter into this like a back room to a shop kind of a space. It's relatively quiet, dimly lit, and in front of you, you see a furbolg. So on the decently tall side, not quite as tall as you are when you're large, but impressive kind of a build. Male furbolg with sort of a palish blue-gray kind of coloration to their skin and fur, and sees you walking in, and you just kind of get a like, I'm surprised, impressed, confused. There's a lot of ways I could describe this. I didn't think you'd be walking in to this room, to be honest. after what we saw.
I'll drop my disguise, but my hood is still up,
Hmm.
and I will nod my head slowly, and I will say, beneath this hood, there is more than flesh. Beneath this hood, there is an idea, kind furball, and ideas are hammer-proof. And I will pull back my hood, revealing my face.
Hmm.
You're welcome.
Gonna look at you a bit like, really? Is what we're doing? But just a. We had cotton rumors of bits and pieces of things, nothing concrete, that you may have been in the kind of trouble you apparently were in. We were not anticipating what went on tonight. Would you care to explain how you walked away from that?
Let's just say if Bella Ormar ever discovers I'm alive, she's going to be very upset. But my methods are my own.
And it's kind of looking at Navarre and Vanessa to kind of like, you have anything to contribute to this? You were there. You saw him. You recovered him.
We did what we were told to do. I took the guards out. We went to get him, and as we were coming across the top, he fell out of the sky like a big ugly bird.
And I will activate my giant strength and actually get larger than the full bulk. Like I said, I have my own methods. And then I'll shrink back down.
All right. It's been intimated to us that you are perhaps a keeper of a different sort. Would you corroborate that information? Would you say that's an accurate assessment of where you stand?
I would say that is an accurate assessment, yes. As someone who has firsthand witnessed the poverty of the unprivileged and the strong arm of the law of the empire, yes, it needs to change. Government should not be afraid of their people. People should not be afraid of their governments. Government should be afraid of their people.
The situation in Victoria has cast more than a small amount of doubt on the word of those who vouch for you. But we heard your last words on this earth, or what I assume you believed were.
I was hoping they weren't, but if they were, I wanted them to be impactful. I actually stayed up for quite a while trying to articulate the perfect phrase should a situation as such arise. I had a feeling that my actions in the Druidic Alliance would not go unanswered forever.
Yes, it's a nasty business. We're concerned for their safety, given the fallout here. Um, we're not sure to what extent we'd be able to intervene, but presumably the dome is helping at this point.
It is indeed. That is probably the only saving grace of the dome. As for, luckily for me, my companion keepers, they were there during Rodan and the death of the tree due to those vile cultists, and they agree with my actions. So it gives me the opportunity to discreetly still have an insight as to what the Keepers and the Empire is doing, while maintaining their trust as they try to clear my name. He just smiled very slightly.
Um, so there's some kind of humming and hawing going on. You can tell that they've been trusted to kind of take stock of you to some extent, but ultimately they're not the final arbiter of this scenario. They're still answering to somebody behind them, potentially. But you can tell that they're not necessarily completely bowled over by some of your answers. And it kind of looks to Navarre and Vanessa, and you've spent some time with him. I'd consider you an objective sort. What do you make of him so far?
I look at Vanessa and like, what do we think of him?
I see no reason this ain't any indifferent. I mean, the man can fall from 80 feet in the sky and still be able to perceptibly see what was on around him as he was falling. He seems to be in good spirits and hopes, so to speak. He will have his use, I guess, but there could be more to that than we know.
Isaac likes him. Isaac thinks very well of him. I believe that people with trinkets think that we should fear said trinkets. But Isaac would want me to protect him.
Yes, that is certainly their way. Flash a badge, open a door, or kick it down.
And Czar will nod. It has its advantages and its disadvantages. There are no certainties, only opportunities.
There's certainly not a consensus on this, but I've been asked to extend an olive branch in your direction. Tentative, perhaps reluctant allies. If this cultist situation is as dire as the situation in Rhodus would make it seem, separating from an empire just to be set ablaze by demons doesn't necessarily do either of us any good.
No. And another thing that should worry you, if in fact your organization did have a part in what happened in Victoria, the weapons used there all bore the mark of the cultists. So perhaps this is a problem deeper embedded than and more detrimental to what's going on than what you thought before.
Concerns have been raised about some of our other partnerships.
The concern should be that Silverheart's alive and currently working his way, trying to work his way beyond the dome. And should that man and Grandmaster Bellafoure make his way onto this island, there's nothing I nor anyone can do to extinguish that flame that follows.
We're aware of his drumbeat on the wall, so to speak. It's quite rhythmic, from what I've been told. Is there cause for concern with him getting inside? It seems to be holding up rather well.
Zara's gonna pause for a moment, and I need to roll me a check for myself here to see what I am gonna say here.
As he pauses, I look at the people that commissioned me. I was taught a long time ago that a battle can be fought on multiple fronts, but never forget thy enemy.
Let's just say there is a way on and off this island. But he nor the keepers know of it. But that's not to say they won't find out eventually.
I assume you're not interested in letting us know of this way in and out.
Eventually, but we're just now becoming friends. So, let's see how that works out first. I'm sure you understand.
Yes, I would say friends is perhaps even strong for the scenario we're in currently. Where is Isaac?
He's with Keeper Bellafoure and Keeper Lightbearer, waiting upon my return. No offense to you, but you don't think that I would come to a meeting such as this without some form of insurance policy, do you?
A lot of trust was shown even bringing you here. I would hope some of that would be returned in kind.
And it has been. We had tea.
I'm sorry to interrupt. If it gets me in trouble, I won't do it again.
No, you're fine.
You're fine.
But the randomness of me wanting tea just saved me.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes sometimes.
But I will return your trust and some information if you wish.
It would go a long way. I depending on the value.
I will tell you two things. One, the champion of Soga, Callahan, I'm sure you've heard of him,
We're aware. We know he was at the ball earlier tonight.
is a demon. A very powerful demon. Second, as far as keepers go, it's not me or Lucy or Kinley or Orma you need to worry about. True keeper niece can be anyone she wants to be.
We do the best we can on that front. Hence all the twists and turns and that brought you here. We try our hardest to dissuade those who we may or may not know, can and cannot trust.
She posed as an ambassador in front of a room full of keepers for several hours without any indication she wasn't who she was. So please, no offense, when I say she could be anyone. And when I say that, I just like lock eyes with the furbog, like, motherfucker, you could be keeper niece.
So little trust. It can't be niece because the furball is actually Becky. No, just kidding.
Of course it is.
The constant back of your mind threat posed. No, but you kind of this sort of back and forth thing, and there's a lot of. You can tell that the person you're directly dealing with doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of faith in the idea of recruiting a keeper to join the rebellion. It's been like,
I'm just
what?
extending. I'm just showing a little bit back because I'm sure more people than rumors about Nice have been about for quite some time. This would just kind of be verifying those rumors. Type thing, so I'm not really giving them anything that is like super important, but just enough to show them the somewhat same amount level of trust that they've shown me, because they're not throwing information at me either. So
yeah, they're not exactly disclosing a whole lot. The olive branch that we've been asked to extend is we can't quite bite the hand that feeds us, but we've come to an understanding that a few of our sources may perhaps be less than vital to our operations. May be able to give you a few places to start on your endeavors.
And in return, I will tell you exactly how many keepers are known to be on this island. again, not vital information, but still kind of, well, hey, I can tell you exactly how many of us there are here that
Mhm.
you may have to deal with.
So he proceeds to give you a few names of some merchants and things. A couple of them you recognize from previous investigations that you had done, cross-checking the like import-export violations, like the customs permit
Okay.
records that you had gone through, things like that. A couple of the names that you get ring a bell from that. But they also give you 2 or 3 additional names of some merchants on the island who would perhaps be worth bending the ear of if you're in pursuit of that particular supplier.
All right. Um, oh, no, I'm not going to ask that. I don't think we're at that level of trust yet, so I'm not going to ask that. But you know what he wants to ask about who may be on this island, but he's not going to ask that
Mhm.
at this point. And he will go down the list of the keepers that he knows to be on the island, and those that locations that he knows of, he would tell them the locations.
Mhm.
And trying to think if there's anything else that he could kind of slip, because he's pretty sure he's being listened in on by Orma or somebody because of his badge. So he's trying to.
Be tactical in what he gives and doesn't give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't switch out my badges in Lucy's bag of holding before coming. So
Mhm.
yeah, that'll be. I guess that'll be it as far as what he is offering right now.
And there's one other call it a request I'd like to add to this proceeding. You seem to be down a few allies from what we observed this evening. Anything you'd like to add on that front?
I'm just sitting here taking everything in. So
I'm guessing referring to Shelley and Finnegan.
Mm-hmm.
The whereabouts of Keeper Finnegan is unknown. However, Shelley had turned in their badge and have no idea where they are. But I can say, knowing them personally, they won't be an issue. They're most likely going to find a more peaceful life.
Can't say I blame them. The intention was to embed one of our own with your group, sort of a ambassador of our own to some extent. I would like to expand that a little bit here. You've already struck up a bit of a rapport with your escorts here. Take them with you, allow them to report back on your goings on and progress on this cult matter. I'm certain they can be of assistance with that problem once you loop them in appropriately. there is a reason we trusted them to make an exit for us.
Oman, that's acceptable. I will be traveling not as myself as you saw when I arrived.
Naturally.
But
You are dead after all.
But since you did exchange information with me, I'm not one to be left in a debt with your trust and kindness. He says the word kind of, awkwardly. So I will leave you with one other thing. A token that may open a few doors for you in an effort to solidify and help solidify and in hopes that our collaboration and my honesty in wanting to bring about change in a empirical system that I find cannot be sustained indefinitely. And I'm going to reach into my pocket and I am going to toss Shelly's badge to the furbog.
How would Zar have gotten that though?
Zara's had it the whole time.
Yeah.
She left it with her bag, and he wore her badge and put his in yours when he was being all sneaky and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what happened. Got it.
So you toss over Shelly's badge that you were holding on to. The furbolg catches it, and there's a certain amount of recognition to it. Just a like we know we can't use this.
No, but I am sure there are plenty of ways that can be used to your advantage.
And kind of looks at it a bit more. I can think of a few people who wouldn't mind giving it a poke and a prod, and we'll kind of tuck it away. And with that, he'll turn specifically to Vanessa and Navarre and just, I have volunteered. I'm afraid I volunteered you for a much longer mission than you had perhaps intended this evening. I cannot make you take this on. You are free to turn it down, but I hope you see the amount of faith I have in you to have entrusted this, and kind of like at Czar, to your capable hands.
Zar will smirk a little bit, being referred to as this.
Are you asking me to protect him?
Asking you to protect us by making sure they don't fail.
The flames in my facial area kind of dim some, and it makes what looks to be like a smirk out the left side of the facial, the face, the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Double pay to Isaac.
We can see about upping his stipend. This is quite a bit of hazard we're putting you to. Hazard pay is not unwarranted.
I am scared of nothing. If you take care of my brother, I take care of him.
Zara will kind of turn to Navar and Vanessa and say, none of this, and what we are doing, can reach the attention or ears of either Keeper Kinley or Keeper Lucy.
That's fine.
They are not of the same ilk as I.
You must convince Isaac to make me do that. Because my natural response is to be honest and truthful to any question asked.
I'll have a conversation with Isaac. And I turn back to the prologue. Are we done? I am quite tired and could use a bath and a rest.
Yes, I think this has been a more than productive enough first introduction. You should tend to what you need to, and with them by your side, we'll be in touch.
I'll nod, and the irony of this is not lost on me. But I will say, Dipvig, watch over you as I activate my ring again and change back into a cleric of Lathander.
Okay.
Sacrilege!
Yeah, whole lots. Just 2 scoops.
Big time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have to deal with that at some point. So with that, you can kind of leave and wind your way back out of all of these back alley that you maneuver through, back out to the main loop and back up towards the house. So while all of this has been going on, Kinley, Lucy, and Isaac, you've been up at the house in Marcelheim. Did you want to take that time to try to get to know each other, have a conversation, or did you just kind of get back and crash out for the night because it's been a hell of a night and you're just like, you know what, we're going to bed. Here's a couch, here's a blanket, here's a pillow. Have a good sleep. We're good.
Well, Lucy would probably ask a question about the construct that referred to Isaac as his brother and is human and has a soul and apparently can do stuff of its own accord, which construct don't normally do that. But I guess other than that, she'd probably figure out with Kinley where the hell the gentleman can rest.
I'd probably like.
Wonder whether or not to just go to bed with a stranger in their home.
I'd probably talk to him a bit, and so what brought them to the asking Isaac what brought them to the ball, and how did you end up being friends after basically kidnapping Zar?
Tells you.
Huh?
Oh, I was making a joke. The power of tea compels you.
Oh. I feel like there might be a little more to it than that.
I'm sure there's much more to it than tea, but we can talk about it over tea.
More tea? Really?
Of course.
Yes.
That's how we'll make some more tea. Have a
I'm
seat.
gonna sit up right quick.
Okay. Yeah. So make some tea, sit down, you kind of chit chat a bit, ask some questions, kind of like, trying to get caught up on how the heck you're in the situation that you're in right now, where Czar's gone off with strangers. You've got a stranger in your house. Czar's gonna come back, dead, question mark, but not. So you make some chit chat and kind of navigate through that as much as you like. After a few hours, if you guys haven't packed it in and called it a night, the rest of them would find their way back to the house. So that's up to you guys if you want to stay up and wait for them or just hit the hay.
I'd probably stay up as late as possible.
Yeah, probably. Depending how late it's getting and how tired Lucy's getting, she'd at least try to stay up to see Czar, if Czar makes it home okay.
Isaac would go to bed after he finished his painting, but while he's painting, he's still up for talking.
Yeah. See, I'd still be talking to him most of the night, trying to get any answers I could out of him. Who they are, what they're doing here, what's their interest in Czar. Usual, inquisitive mind that she has.
So I guess we start in the middle, or where are we starting with it?
Start at the beginning. Beginning is always the best place to start.
So we're like walking into the house.
Huh?
Oh, no. So you already made it back to the house. You settled in, made some. You're like in the house.
Okay.
You're painting,
Oh.
having a
Yeah.
conversation.
Having a
You're in
conversation
that
house, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
kind of state. So, they're asking you questions about your brother and how the hell that works, and like, how'd you wind up on the roof, and who you're friends with, and why, and all that kind of stuff. And you can answer or not answer as much of that as you want, and go from there.
Hit me with the questions.
All right. Well, I guess I'll definitely ask where you all came from.
I never thought of a name of the city for that we were born. Can I just say the capital? Will that work?
That's fine. Yeah. You can.
Okay. I was born in the capital city.
Ah, someone from home. Interesting. Well, what brought you out here?
Adventuring with my brother.
It's a strange combination, you and your brother. How did that come to be?
I made him.
You made him? Is he not your real brother? Is he some kind of like adopted brother? Is he?
Well, my brother died. Died on my birthday, and then I lost my arms. And then after a while of really studying hard and doing things, I found out how to make them through my family's alchemist tomes.
Huh, alchemy. I have not had much study of that. I've read some books about it, but have not really delved into it.
A powerful science, truly.
Could be. From what I read, there's some strange things in it. So what brought you, all three of you together?
I went on an adventure with my brother. I don't know how he met Vanessa, though.
And what brought you all to, the ball last night?
My brother wanted us to get something. Said it would help.
What were you there to get?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
So you do not know?
I kind of just said that, didn't I?
What I'm aiming at is your... Does that mean that your brother makes the decision of a sort? The leader of your little group?
Pretty much, I do leave all decisions to him. Though technically, if I told him that I wanted to be leader, he would have to do it, but I don't really want to be.
So he still has to do whatever you tell him per normal constructs behavior. I see.
Interesting. Well, I think that's about all I'm going to learn tonight. But please enjoy yourself some tea and your painting. And
I will.
there's-
Although, before you go, could you get me a bucket just so I can clean my feet afterwards? I kind of don't want to track paint all over your house. It's kind of nice.
you see any buckets around here, Lucy?
Let me go. I believe she would recall seeing a bucket during the whole, after the whole dinner with the ambassador, having to clean everything in a hurry and make everything presentable or some shit.
Yeah.
So she'd go fetch a bucket, fill it with the water, and bring it for the stranger in her home, in their home. You're like, all right, I guess we're playing hospitable hosts. She's still a little wary of them, though. After sensing whatever she sensed earlier, which she has not talked about yet.
I will enjoy your painting.
Out of character question. If she were to do the sense again, if she did do that, would she still sense anything out of place?
It only works if I can feel somebody's alignment who hints or is evil. And basically if they're a creature or a fiend or something like that, but it doesn't tell me specific things about you.
Okay,
It just gives me a hint that, hey, there's something maybe not nice in the area. Which the thing
Like
with
a
the
fiend.
whole yeah, but the thing with that whole joke is it was me plus two other people and that
I
dude,
know.
so it was sure that it
Yeah.
was this dude.
Yeah.
But in character, she'd need a reason to do that.
Yeah.
Which right now you're being nice, so if I was to pull that shit, that'd be metagaming, and I'm not gonna do that.
Alright, well, enjoy
I
your
just wanted to understand. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
enjoy your painting. I'm going to. Is there like a balcony up in the at one of the bedrooms, like in my bedroom that sees out the front of the house?
Lucy would probably wait for Zar to get home to make sure he's alright. Cause,
Yeah, there would be a balcony on the kind of house that you're in that you'd be able to step out on.
All right. So I'll make my way up to the balcony and kind of. I'm sure there's probably like a chair or tables out there or something, and make myself comfortable and see if Zar gets back before it gets far too late for me not to sleep.
So it does take a fair bit of time for that whole exchange with the Furble gentleman to unfold. And eventually, though, Czar with Navarre and Vanessa in tow returns to the house. So the three of them show up, and you wouldn't, because Zar's in disguise. Well, Zar used the same disguise that you used before you left.
Oh yeah, and as soon as I come in the house, I would just be like, "Blessings of Lathander upon all of you."
Blasphemy.
Yeah. But from the balcony, Kinley, you'd recognize the same fake Zar that you saw before they left to go do whatever they were gonna go do.
Yeah.
So you would know that that's them approaching the house, and not some sort of shenanigans, or seemingly not any sort of shenanigans. Then lets himself in and acts like a jerk, and then you can take the time to, dump everybody on what all transpired, or you can say like, look, it's been a hell of a night, we're gonna go to bed, we're gonna wake up the next morning, I'll tell you over breakfast. Whether everyone's copacetic with that.
I'd make my way downstairs and kind of greet them, and like greet Czar anyways. See, you made it back in one piece.
I'll drop the disguise. Yes, it was an interesting walk about town. We had a very nice conversation. Isaac, Nova, Vanessa, there are 2 empty rooms currently.
Actually,
Recently,
Isaac would be in a room painting, I assume, though?
well, I figured he would be down, like, in our area painting.
One of the lounge spaces.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we went to give him a room and he painted there. My bad.
No, he was painting while you were talking.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, as we've recently had 2 rooms vacated by Finnegan and Shelley, you're more than welcome to rest there if you so choose. I would suggest Nova not standing out too far in sight. There may be maids or other people calling in the morning, and it might be disconcerting and suspicious for there suddenly to be someone of your unique composition standing there to greet them. So I would suggest rooming with your brother.
Like that was a choice?
I mean, everybody has a choice.
Yes,
Whatever you do with that choice is up to you.
Yes, and I don't know your sleeping habits, so
I usually sentry outside the room.
that should be fine. It is on the 2nd floor, so
Warforged don't sleep much. They recharge, as I've come of an understanding of it.
interesting.
Sleep is for the weak.
Of course. Well, us mortal, living, breathing creature needs sleep in order to operate.
That and good tea.
Yes.
That's gonna be a thing, isn't it?
It is
It's going to be a thing.
Well,
Mental note: always carry tea while out on adventure.
I always have a tea set and tea in my bag of holding.
I mean, why not, right?
I will nod to the group. Well, sleep well. Lucy, Kinley, before I go to sleep, if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind going along with me to my room, I'd like you to tell me what I missed at the ball and whatnot, so I'm up to date on everything.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs, basically get dressed down, and then head over there.
I'll head to my room, and I would show the new guests, our new party members, to their rooms. And I guess when Lucy and Kinley are ready and they get in the room, I'll close it, kind of throw a pillow at the bottom of the door to kind of, a little bit of extra soundproofing and talk really low to them.
Yeah, hush tones and whispers.
Mm-hmm.
I made contact with the resistance,
Well,
Really?
and they are willing to assist us, and they've given me some information about some cultists that they may be aware of, some of which matched some of the information we actually dug up in Victoria with the merchants. And were any of those names on the family names of the people that we got from the wannabe cultist?
At least one of them was, yeah.
And at least one of them matches up with what we got from our friend that is likely going to be visited by Bella soon.
not the same one, right? Different family name than the one I got?
Huh?
Because I got a family name
Oh.
at the party,
Oh, yeah.
and
It is a different name, yeah.
Okay.
So the one that you got dropped at the party as a place is different from the merchant that matched
okay.
the cross-reference list that Zar got tonight.
And eventually we'll get those names.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey,
I mean,
DM,
it's-
do you
yeah.
need me or Sean for anything for like 5 minutes?
Probably not.
I just got hot sauce in my eye. Not
What
on
is
it.
that?
Yeah, no.
In my eye.
Solve that. Fix
Okay.
fix that
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, jeez.
I'll say, obviously,
Hot sauce in
They-
your eye, dear lord.
obviously, our new companions have no idea that you know of my going to go meet with the rebels, and as far as they know, you believe in my innocence, and that's why I'm still traveling with you, so that you can prove my innocence later, because you were there to witness what had happened in Rodan.
I only have one thing to say about our new friends, and it is this. I got the feeling that one of them was.
Not Becky.
Leave her
Don't think any of them are Becky.
for one moment. I'm trying to tell you that one of them might not be on the straight path.
Well, time will tell.
It will, but I am still gonna warn you. If anything occur.
At this point, I trust them about as much as I trust Finnegan showing up tomorrow and apologizing for yet again vanishing on us in a time of need.
So not that much. Got it.
If that happens, I owe you a gold.
Actually, I think I've got more gold than you now, and I sort of shake my gold pouch. I've had a busy week.
Lovely.
But, so, that's all done. I will, one of you tomorrow, if you get a chance, drop by Bella's in Philhaven. I don't think, I should be, seen visiting her shop, even in my new guise, by
No.
our new friends. So,
No, I will have a chat with her tomorrow.
I will try to keep. Well, I'm pretty sure we can offer a distraction for Kenny going to do her own things tomorrow.
oh, and I was looking for it. I somehow lost Shelley's badge. Did I leave it laying about here? Have you seen it?
I
You
have
somehow
not seen it.
lost
Yeah,
Kelly's badge.
yeah, because I switched him out at one point, and I might have set it down somewhere, or I could have dropped it. I'm not exactly sure where it went.
Huh. Huh.
I don't know how you lose a badge, but
Well, I have mine. It wasn't exactly like on my mind. I need to protect this with my life because, I must.
When
It-
did
it-
you
it just
swap the
didn't-
badges?
Yesterday, if you remember. I slipped mine into the bag of holding and I presented Shelly. So maybe check your bag of holding for it. Maybe I slipped it back in there and I don't remember.
It's in my room. I will check for it tomorrow morning. I am quite tired.
Go get some sleep, Lucy.
Perhaps you should too.
By the way, I think I'm a much better dancer than you are.
I hardly think so. You did quite a show, but I have more experience than you said in that one particular thing.
That's true. That's very true.
But you did pretty well.
The fiend that you danced with, that is probably older than everyone living combined, didn't seem to have any issues with your dancing. So I will definitely say you're probably a better dancer if you can make an all-powerful evil force enjoy dancing with you. So I will give you that.
To
I
be
am
fair,
going to have nightmares about this.
yeah, and her dance partner didn't try to kill her when they were done dancing, so you got
Yeah, that's true. Mine didn't try and kill me either.
a little bit.
Oh yeah, but what am I to expect? Her to be like, yeah, rebellion with us,
Lucy's gonna smirk. Well, I guess we can add seducing demons to my curriculum, I suppose.
Yeah.
He's gonna frown after saying that, like, I don't like this, but
Seducing him, huh?
I did not.
Are you telling me you didn't even enjoy it a little bit, Lucy? Now, you know it's a sin to lie.
She's gonna cross her arms and glare at him. You know how I stand on these types of things, so why are you even trying?
So, yes, you did enjoy it a little bit. Have a good night, Lucy.
I did not.
Well, before you go, did you happen to learn anything else about what they're...
This was an initial meeting. It's going to take some time for them to trust me. Our new friends down there are going to be traveling with us for a while, keeping a tabs on me and assisting us with the cultist problem, and there to report back what they find. So anything I suggest that would be considered detrimental to the mission, we keep it between ourselves and discuss privately.
I have
But-
one thing to worry about, I suppose. About the pillars. If we're supposed to go in and look them over, how are we supposed to do that with these people on our tails?
Well, the way I see it, if they're actually, the rebellion is actually wanting to end this problem, they'll help us. If they show another side, he shrugs, we'll kill them.
As long as they don't plan on stabbing us in the back. We lost
as
far
long
too
as
many
they don't-
keepers already.
Yes. Well, I got the impression that the rebellion are rethinking their alliances right now. So, we'll just have to see how it plays out.
I suppose.
Well, hope it plays
But-
out for the better.
But it's important that you two keep acting like the keepers you are.
So
I,
keep
I have never
acting suspicious.
I have
of
never
them.
not acted like the keeper I am. So
I'm aware, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. don't worry, I will. Fate ignorance where ignorance is needed.
And of course, neither one of you can let off that you know their true alliances or what I'm doing as well. That's without saying.
I waited
course.
until now to tell you both about what I felt earlier. That's an improvement.
Yes. I just go to bed, Lucy. Go to bed. Kidding me. I'll see you both in the morning. I'm tired, and despite my wounds having healed, I'm still very sore. Hope you never get hit with one of those fucking hammers.
Yeah, I don't think that's very pleasant.
I don't believe I'd be on the other side of the fence to get the wrath of this hammer, but I will keep that in mind.
But hey, bright side of it, once everything's said and done, and I don't have to be dead anymore, I can be known as the boy who lived.
Boy who lived. Go to bed, Za.
Yep, he just starts taking off his clothes and hopping into bed.
Lucy's gonna walk out at this point.
Head back to my room, get ready for bed, and go to sleep.
Zar's eccentricities not really bothering her that much anymore.
It's not being eccentric, he's just not shy.
I know, but to her, it's that.
Okay.
I am, like, displaying it how she takes it.
I know. Lucy's a
It's
prude.
Not used to that kind of behavior. More like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it. That's all I wanted to do is fill them in and all that stuff. What was going on?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I think we're gonna do, I think this is a good place to call it a night.
Oh yeah.
Like if sorry, if there's anything you would like to do prior to like going to bed, going into sentry mode for the night, I'll give you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there
But
definitely is.
we'll end with everyone kind of like crashing out for the night, and we'll start the next episode with waking up for breakfast in the morning. So what would you like to do prior to fade to black, essentially?
I'm gonna walk into Isaac's room, and I'm gonna sit at pretty much the head of his bed, where his head is, where he's laying, and Isaac, we need to talk.
What is it, bro?
I have not been forthright with everyone, so therefore, the trust that is needed for what we have to do is not there. Miss Vanessa is not a willing participant.
I suppose that explains why you never told me how you met her.
Our boss, who has now said that they would try to hazard pay you, whatever that means, for moving forward with these awful people, paid me to make sure that Vanessa was in our ranks. I think the term that was used was blackmail or something. I think something.
So, would you say that they're being evil?
I think on the path of good intentions, evil things can be done to get the good intentions to be done. I do not think anybody surrounding us in this house is evil. But I believe the intentions that they have being pushed down on them and the intentions that we have that is being shoved down on us does have that slight chance.
Which one would be the greater one?
Whatever one it takes for me to keep you alive. You've done so much to make me believe that I will be whole again, that I will not give up on your dream. but as long as they brandish their silly trinkets, like we should bow down or behave, I think we should never trust them.
I think we can at least trust Czar. After all, he gave me some good tea. Oh wait, that wasn't Czar. Who was it? It was
That-
one of those three.
It was Kinley. Czar
Oh,
tried.
yeah.
Czar tried to make you drink the water of bad things.
That's true.
I also want to tell you that. Do you remember the story of the crawfish and how when it's scared or when it feels like it's time to get out of a situation, it can back out with great fury?
I don't remember exactly, but it sounds familiar.
Well, you may have been too young when mother taught us that. Just remember, we are now the crawfish in this entire game that these groups are trying to play against each other or with each other. I will stand by you. I will protect you and who you tell me to protect. But if I feel that any of these people, excluding Miss Vanessa, who has been forced to be part of what we're doing, we crawfish out.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Sleep well, my brother. And I'm going to get up and stand against the door and sentry standing against the door.
Okay.
And Isaac snores loudly.
After everyone leaves Zar's room and everything, he's going to use one of the scrolls ascending. Or actually, no, it's late at night, and they'll probably be asleep, and he'll just waste it. So he will wait till when he wakes up next session.
Okay. Yeah, that's always the risk at 4 in the morning trying to send a sending scroll is there's always a chance that you're just gonna get as the reply. Okay. Good, great, awesome. Everyone's good. They're comfortable going to sleep at this point. No more anything else. No. Okay. Then we'll call it a session here. Thank you to my players, new players in particular, for joining us this evening, and everyone who tuned in to watch us try to mesh these two trios into a sextet with some semblance of success, it feels like. We will see you back here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, for more Vow of the Keeper shenanigans. In the meantime, there's the Wednesday campaign went on hiatus, right?
Nope, they are back.
Oh, I thought they said they were taking a break.
No, they're back in Theria now.
They are
Okay.
now
Theros.
Theros, the Unclaimed.
Ah, okay. They were making a judgment call on where they were doing it or whatever. Okay, so Wednesday night campaign. Friday was the newest one that we started. And then Saturday and Sunday evenings, which is Chaos Reigns on Saturday, and I always get them mixed up.
Chaos Reigns on Saturday, Cunning Limited on Sunday.
That's right.
And congratulations to the Undead Lords for winning the dice set. So
Yay.
those will have to be
Congratulations.
sent along to her with her Funko Pop.
Eventually.
One day.
Someday in the future.
You'll probably get the dice before the Funko Pop.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What else? Oh, in a few weeks' time, we'll be spinning up a Sunday morning campaign. I'll be DMing that one as well. it's set in the same world. We're still settling on where else in this world they're going to be. There is a chance of them bumping into our party of keepers, depending on where they wind up making that decision. I've warned them about that, but they're still considering being inside the dome instead of outside the dome.
That would be awesome. I'm all for
Yeah.
crossover episodes.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
So we'll see what they ultimately settle on, and we're looking to start that up. It'll be after the 4th of July weekend, so everybody has a chance to have the holiday and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but are we gonna
I'm looking
raid
right
anybody
now.
or?
I mean, if you give me 3 minutes.
Oh, are we doing 7 days to die tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. We can chill out and after chat for a few minutes. It's no
Yep.
biggie.
Yeah.
So for anybody out there that may be watching, Lolly, the player of Isaac, is completely new to Dungeons and Dragons. Lolly, how did you like your first session of Dungeons and Dragons?
It was terrific.
You
Oh my god.
Oh, I love you right now. Yeah.
so I'll take that as you enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
I'm glad.
Yes,
That's my
we're
sticky buddy right there.
very much glad to hear that. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a learning curve with D&D, but once you get into the thick of things, pick it up quick enough. It's not so bad. We'll help out along the way, but yeah, I think we've got a lot of potential to do some fun stuff with this bunch of people.
Oh, definitely.
And with a little bit of luck, at some point down the road, we'll get Finnegan back in the mix here, and we'll really throw
Lord.
a big wrench into a small cog, or
Yeah.
small wrench into a big cog, something like that.
That's
Yep.
gonna be special.
He'll show up and smack each one of them with his stick to make sure they're not Becky.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the hell is gonna happen with Construct when he does that though?
He's gonna hit metal, nothing.
Well, the thing of the staff is it reverts things to their true form. Maybe it'll turn you into a real boy.
Oh!
But
Whoa,
my,
that'd
re-
be
but
special.
my real form is not a real boy.
Oh, I thought you were his brother that had died.
I am, but my real form as I'm dead.
Oh,
There means there is no real form.
Or turn it back into a ghost.
I'm going
A
to turn me
spirit.
back into a spirit, which I think that Isaac would be pretty pissed off about.
Yeah.
I'm
just throwing that idea out there so Kim has plenty of time to think about that eventuality when that happens.
Yeah. Oh my god, you kicked him out of the armor, you bastard. How could you? Why would you do something like that? Oh, that would be horrible.
Yes.
No, I got a couple of fun ideas, I think, for that. We'll see how that plays out.
Yay.
Oh, whoa.
What happened?
I just tried to blow up my computer. That's what happened.
Oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Kim's mouth stopped moving mid-sentence, and so she was still talking, but her mouth was not moving at all.
Oh gosh.
And
But,
George was in the middle of a giggle, so she looked insane.
As always. Nothing
Wouldn't have it
new
any
there.
other way.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
But yeah, great session, Lolly. It was great finally getting you to play
Yes.
D&D with us. I enjoy your interactions and your character. The whole like, yes, but do you have tea thing? It just made me so fucking happy. Like you were there in character. You were painting with your feet. It was amazing.
Yes. Thank
Some
you for joining us,
dexterous
Lolly.
feats.
It's awesome. I'm glad you decided to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times. I had fun. I'm sad I can't go bug Bella every day now though. That makes me
You
kind of
can-
sad.
You
I'll,
can
I'll,
probably have
Pretty much
Kinley
can't go
plug.
anymore until this is resolved because she'll probably kill you if she
Well-
sees you.
no, she won't kill me if she sees me because remember, only clients are let in basically one at a time or as a group. So I guess I could sneak there under disguise and have a chat with her, but I don't see the need for it at this point.
She'd be pissed at you taking the risk.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Julie, for the host. I
No
was making
problem.
sure that made
All right.
sure I was live.
All right,
All right,
gonna
so
go
we're
ahead
gonna-
and do this raid.
So we're
That Kim looked absolutely terrifying talking without mouth moving. I'm understating what I'm saying here because I was like, whoa, no.
All right, so stay frosty, everybody. Stay safe. Make the right decisions in life. Don't be a douchebag to anybody because of their race, religion, sexuality, etc. Be nice people. Love each other. Treat them as you would like to have yourself treated. And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, raid us away.